Hey, it's M. Shadows from Avenged Sevenfold here, and you're about to watch me answer questions that you sent in on 6 Cents. We want to thank Nikki Six and Jen for having us on the show tonight for our I Heart Ask Anything chat. So the first question is from Meg from Richardson. What's your favorite song off of the stage? All the songs have been my favorite at one point, but I would have to say, if I had to pick an absolute favorite, it would probably be Exist, just because it's outside of the box and I enjoy the idea that we're trying to convey, which is the Big Bang in the creation of this wonderful universe. All right, next question. Andrea from Albuquerque. The stage seems like a bit of a passion project, given your own interest in AI and whatnot that we've seen recently in interviews. How did you first discover your interest in AI, space, etc.? Well, first off, I'd say that every record is a passion project. We wouldn't put out records otherwise. We've stated it before, we have no interest in just being a band just to make music. We usually have something to say and we have an idea we want to convey. My interest in artificial intelligence and space probably started with some books I was reading, some podcasts, a little bit of, Sam Harris podcast, a little bit of Star Talk with Neil deGrasse Tyson, and just a lot of Googling answers to questions that the human race can't necessarily answer at this point. And it kind of got me on this path to learn more about it. And obviously that stuff filtered into our music on this record. All right. Heather from Pueblo? All right. I hope I pronounced that right. Would you guys collectively ever start a fashion line in Jimmy's memory? Call it Stallion Duck. Thank you guys for continuing on. You helped me in so many ways to overcome my depression. Much love. I don't know, Heather. We like to remember Jimmy through our music and just obviously being friends. A lot of our memories and the way we honor him are not done in the public eye. We're all best friends with him, and we gather on his birthday and on the day of his death, and we do our own little rituals, but I don't know if a clothing line would necessarily be appropriate. Haven't thought about that, but good idea. Ren from Belfast. Least favorite Avenged song? Man, there's a lot of them. Probably Girl I Know, because I think the lyrics are incredibly cheesy. Least favorite Avenged song that ever made it onto a record would probably have to be Unbound. I just think it's a little sugary for my taste at this age. Nausicaa from Rome, Italy. Nausicaa? The first thing in your mind if I say fans. Rabid. I'm glad something decent came to mind. Nadim from Manchester. In the 2016 March Mania Song Tournament on YouTube video, you released a teaser for what was supposed to be the opener for the album. Will you release that song later, or is it completely thrown out? I was really excited to hear that song, and I was hoping you might include it in any of the next albums. To be honest, that was never a song, that was just us messing around. I think people are calling it Pass the Gravy, because I just said what was ever on the top of my mind and we were just doing a funk jam. So that song, basically, what you heard was the entirety of it. There is no song there. It's just messing around. Just a little jam session. Dude, what's up with, okay, these names are crazy. Kersey from Tampere. Is that right? Good enough? I heard you like Finnish Sauna. When you're here in Helsinki, did you go many times? Did you do it nude, as is traditionally done? And do you have real saunas home or near you live? We did not do it nude, but we had a good time. I have a buddy out there, Ropa. Hello, Ropa, from Helsinki, and he told me that that was the thing to do, and so we got all the boys together. We went and did traditional Finnish sauna, and it was a great experience. Drinking some beers in the sauna, which I don't know if it's the most healthy way to do it, but we had a great time. And we do have saunas here in America, but it's not the same experience. I think they would look at you a little funny in America if you did the same sort of traditions, but we had a great time. Ben from Adelaide. Been dying to ask this for about 3 years. When you were writing Not Ready to Die, did Pantera 5 Minutes Alone influence a few of the lyrics? The You Can't Break Me definitely sounded slightly similar. I have never put that together, but thanks for bringing it to my attention, and I'll check it out. I obviously know every Pantera song they've ever done, and so maybe it was rattling around somewhere in my subconscious when we wrote that, but it definitely wasn't it wasn't meant to be a Pantera tribute, so no. Donald from Rushville. Hey A7X, I've been a fan of yours for years, and it seems close to impossible to grab meet and greets for your shows. What can fans do to better their chances of meeting you guys? Well, we started a fan club. It's called Deathbat Nation, and if you sign up on that, we are going to start doing meet and greets for randomly chosen people that are part of the fan club for every show from now on. So we are trying to make it more, make ourselves more accessible. Tori from Dryden. Matt, I'm also a vocalist and have made much progress since I started at 13, but at 25 I still struggle with knowing how to scream without hurting my throat/voice. I've already learned so much by listening, reading, and watching you sing, but wondered if there's any tips on harsh vocals that you may be able to give me. Well, to scream properly, you probably want to sing through your nose more than pulling it from your diaphragm or pulling from your chest voice. If you do that, you'll blow out your voice every time. You kind of have to go over your chest voice and make sure the scream is coming from your head voice, and that's a much safer way to do it. Other than that, I would suggest getting vocal lessons for someone that, you know, can kind of work on it with you and show you the way. Stefan from Maplewood. A7X have very elaborate and visual shows and stage designs. How much of the stage design process is done by the band? How much input does the band give when it comes to lighting and pyro and choreography? We're involved in it from every step of the way. We've hired people that we trust in Jordan Coopersmith and our lighting guy Trevor. And everyone on our team are people that we kind of give them free reign to do what they need to get done to get the show where we want it to be. So we'll have meetings months and months before the show gets built and put into place. And then though we do it months in advance, we are always running around like chickens with our head cut off, you know, a couple days before the tour, still trying to put the pieces together, but it's always a interesting process. Spencer from Boston. Any smaller acts that you're really loving lately? I like Brandon Saller's Hell or High Water record. Gojira is not a smaller act, but in terms of the grand scheme of pop music and stuff, it's a smaller act, so I love Gojira. Really still enjoy Ghost. So I wouldn't necessarily call them smaller acts, but those are the bands I'm listening to at the moment. And Mastodon's obviously not small by any means, but enjoying their new record as well. Katie from San Diego, Whale's Vagina. How do you guys do the liner notes for your CDs? Well, the last few records, we've kind of just cut and pasted them from the previous records, and then we kind of read through them real quick, and then we see if we need to add anybody or take anyone out. So, for all you CD buyers out there, we appreciate you even looking at the liner notes. I can't remember the last liner notes I've ever even looked at, but I know that when I was a young lad, I would check out liner notes to see what all my favorite bands were listening to, and or their friends, and that's how I found out about a lot of bands. Sabre from Toronto. What's the weirdest in-person fan interaction you've ever had? If fans see you in public, do you feel weird if they approach you? I've had some interesting encounters where people have like named their kids after our stage names, which is always interesting. I've seen some revs out there, some reverends. I've seen some M shadows out there, and so that's always interesting. I wouldn't call it weird. People are just, excited sometimes, and no, I never care if people approach us on the street. It's all good. It's, just nice to say hi. Connie from Cathan. Cathan. I'm a parent, my son loves your music. When he doesn't listen to me because he's cranking your music, I say to him, go to your room and Avenged Sevenfold your laundry. The mom has spoken. It's brilliant. Not a question, but brilliant. Great parenting. All right. Thanks again for the questions you sent to 6 Cents. We'll see you out on the Metallica tour. Much love to Nikki, Jen, and the 6 Cents listeners for their support.